Hi, my name is Gilma Dorville.
I'm Ebony Weaver.
I'm Ashley Moultrie.
I'm Delanique Robinson.
I'm Janelle M. Forbes, and you're watching The Ugly Truth Show on
Dominion TV.
Hey guys, we are here with The Ugly Truth. My name is Ashley Moultrie, and I'm here with my other host to talk about a love that heals. So for me, when I think of a love that heals, because I'm a single woman, right? So it could be a love of God, it could be the love of another person, whatever that looks like. For me, I think of the love of God. I think of the things that I've been through in my life, the things that I've gone through and had to overcome, and how when I truly found God is when I truly felt loved. And it really helped bring me into who I am and helped me really look at love a different way. Like I had thought for years that I had been in love before, right? And it wasn't until I truly accepted God and really tapped into that level of love that I had realized, ooh, I didn't even know what that looked like.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
Yeah.
So, what about you as another woman? Because we got two single women on this couch, two married women, right? We divided ourselves. Talk to me about what that looks like for you.
Honestly, it's me finding myself, being able to truly love myself. For years, I thought that I loved me, and what I came to realize is that I didn't, because I made a decision that affected me. But in my mind, I did, I was happy, but when I came to a place where I started looking at myself in a different point of view. I started seeing differently. And the one thing that I noticed, that no matter what I did or what obstacle I had to face, the one thing that I noticed that, I was a fighter. And a lot of things that I went through is because I know that God has a purpose for me, and I always say that because I've been through some stuff. But with everything that I went through, I would find basically the wrong ways to overcome, to heal. But it came to a point where I had to realize, okay, you have to sit back, you have to reevaluate yourself, you have to work on you. So basically with me, it was, being able to find myself and just getting to know the true person that I am, like getting to know me. And it's the most amazing thing because I love me.
I love that though. Self-love is so important. And I think that so often we look for love outside of ourselves from somebody else. But then the problem with that is that when that person doesn't love you anymore, now you don't love yourself. If you don't tell me I'm beautiful today, then I'm not beautiful. But if I wake up every day learning to love me, seeking me, and giving myself, building myself up, then yours is extra. You know what I mean? Thank you for it, but yours is extra. So I love that, because if you don't truly love yourself, how do you expect somebody else to love you at all? That's good. I love that. Miss Delanique, talk to me.
I feel like love can be defined by our experience sometimes. You guys know about the Gary Chapman, how he came out with the love languages.
Love language,
right?
yes.
Like, I can love you how I've loved me, but you won't still feel love, because of the language by which maybe an experience has defined, or your household, how you grew up, the nature versus nurture. I mean, there's so many type of psychological processes with that in love, but I think that's why love itself can never be in one natural realm. Love is so vast, it's so wide, it's so powerful, it's so big, that puts a super on the natural that we face.
I love it.
And for me, I think the process and the transition and the transformation of love was definite when I understood that God is love. So I won't know love unless I know God.
Yeah.
I won't know how to love you
Right.
unless I know the God in you. And for me, I recognize that the expansion and the true love of my natural relationships went to another level when I knew and understood that God loved them, how God loved them.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't what I thought about it, or let's say they come from a different background than me and they felt like they were loved by you doing something for them. And I'm like, why people gotta do stuff for you? Can you not be independent yourself?
Right.
Can you not get the glass of water that's on the table yourself?
Yeah.
But they felt loved by you getting the glass of water for them because God is doing something in them and God loves them a certain way.
Yes.
So when I think about a love that heals, God is the epitome of the healer, of a healer. He's Jehovah, what do they call him? Jehovah Jireh. He's a provider. Jehovah Rapha. You're the God that heals. So a love that heals is a love that's rooted in only who God is. And for me, when I went through a process and still am going through a process of healing, and even with my husband, you know, we'll go through different scenarios and different situations, and I'm like, I didn't feel loved when you said that. Like, I didn't feel loved when you say that in different ways. And he's like, I didn't say nothing. And I'm just like, but every time we get into something like that, it's just, you know, what would God do in this moment? Like, I feel a certain way about it. You know, Delaney, I feel a certain way about it. And he's just like, I mean, that wasn't my intention. I just said, you know, based on how he grew up in his household. But the reason how we were able to go through a process of healing, and oftentimes in those situations, a couple minutes after that, we'll have a breakthrough of healing. And we would go through another level of intimacy in our relationship. And it was only because we had to line up ourselves with who God is. Well, God says that he's love. So love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. It doesn't boast. It keeps no record of wrongs. It doesn't rejoice in iniquities, but it rejoices in truth. So let's go with, so we'd be sitting right there on the couch. We'd be like, okay, what is love right now? Like, what is God saying right now? And so hearing the voice of God and knowing how God is saying to love this person, I think, is what oftentimes is the avenue that can bring forth healing in somebody's life.
That's good.
I love that, and I love you talking about the love languages, because I think we have to learn that not everybody feels love the same, receives love the same, and because you like words of affirmation, you can't come to me and say, you're this, you're that. You know what I mean? Because that's not how I receive it. And I love that, because I've been in relationships with people where their love language was gifts, and I didn't understand that. And because if I don't value them, I don't love you because I don't get the shoes. That don't make no. You got to make that make sense to me. But it was their love language, and I'm going, oh, you so selfish. Oh, you so. And it was just, that was how they felt love. I'm not a gift giver. You know what I mean? Your birthday come, I'm not sure. I'm not. I don't think like that. So for me, I'm
tell you
like,
happy birthday and go
I gave you a hug and told you happy birthday. You didn't feel that? You should have felt me. So it is learning that you have to study your partner.
Have to.
And friends. You have to know that if this is how that person receives I deal with you different than I want to be dealt with. That's hard.
That's so true. So when I think about that, right, the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave. So when I think about love, love is giving.
It is.
When I think about love, love is sacrifice. And I know it more than anything because I didn't know what love is. And it wasn't until I met my husband, God showed me, and I had to unlearn to relearn.
That's good. That's it.
What love is, because from a little girl I was raped and molested from age 8 to 16. And when you are violated as a young child like that, you think love is sexual all the time. And that's what I thought love really was. So by the time I met my husband Clifton, I was like, what? you don't want none of this? You know, like being transparent. Like I wasn't used to that. And he was like, no, I love you. We never dated. He literally saw me. He met me pregnant. And I was like, what? Like it was uncommon for me. You know, and then he looked at me and one day he just like, Janelle, could I ask you a question? I was like, sure. I was rude to him. And I was. And that's all I knew. I was so angry. And then he said, I love you. Would you marry me? I'm like, what? Okay. You know, and I did that whole spiel because I never thought I was going to ever get married. 2, I didn't thought I would ever find a guy outside of a thug that I would think that would love me.
About it.
You know, when we have been abused and traumatized, we think this is what we need. But no, that is not what we need. That's what we desire and what we actually want. And to be honest with you, unless we're healed, we really don't understand what we actually need that would help us progress from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 7, and it just keeps going. So when you think about for God so loved, when we say, even when we use the word so, that's an expression like, so for God so loved the world that he gave. You know, so Cliff, my husband, he gave. Even when I didn't know how to accept it or receive it or process the giving. And even in that giving, I try to sabotage because I was not used to it. So he still continued giving.
Love that.
He was already outside of my comfort zone, but he kept giving. It doesn't matter words I used on him. I would hit him. I used to like use profanity really bad, and I would use a lot of it because I didn't know that's what I was used to. I thought what I was doing for all those years was love.
That's good. That's it.
So then when I meet a guy like Cliff, and he's literally, I didn't know about the love languages then, you know, and he's giving. He's writing me letters every day. He's bringing me cards. He's bringing me roses. And he still does. And he's, a little, what's your favorite chocolate, babe? Back then it was Crunch. So every day I get a Crunch, or he would bring me jewelry. Or he would just, he would write handwritten letters. And I was like, what? I feel like I'm in elementary school. You know, seriously, that's how it felt. But it started feeling good. But within that time, I was like, you know what, Janelle? You need to know God. I always tell people, nobody pushed God on me. I learned God and found him for myself. And it was through me reading my scriptures. I had chronic anxiety disorder from a teenager. And I could remember taking about 80 different pills a day. And in taking that medication, I was dependent on all of the medication, every bit of it. And so within that time, I started reading Psalms 23, Psalms 24, and 27. That was the only scriptures that I knew, and I read it. I made them a part of me, and I memorized them. And as I found strength through the scriptures gave me strength. And the love, the unconditional love, the giving love that Cliff was giving me. And it only, when I think about it, it only could be through the love of God through him.
That's it. Right.
That he was able to be so patient with me, even when I wasn't patient. To be so kind with me, even when I wasn't kind. To be so gentle with me, even when I wasn't being gentle. But okay,
No, I love that.
You know, I can talk about him all day, every day. So if y'all don't put a muzzle over my mouth, I will keep rambling. But go ahead.
I love that though, because it's the giving of himself. the serving of you. You know what I mean? And that is so important. And then you were be able to finally submit to him, not to him as the man, but to the God in him, to become more humble, to become more calm, and love him the way that he deserved to be loved.
Yes.
And we lose that. So often as women, we're the prize, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? We were created for him. Let me be your helpmate. Let me help you. You help me, and let's be that power team that we're destined to be. So for two single women, right? On thing to my married women, we're probably looking at y'all. What advice would you ladies give for why you said yes, and what is it that you would say this is what you guys need to do in preparation? Because so often we want the man, we want the husband or the wife for whoever's watching, but we don't prepare ourselves. How did you prepare yourself in that season for your husband?
I'll go ahead. So I tell women, and I'm going to say to everyone that's watching, you got to grow up. You got to get to another level of maturity in your mind, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, for God to open the eyes of your understanding so you can see him, even if you don't know it's him, when they do come. At the time in my life when Cliff showed up was the worst seasons of my life. I almost died. But you met me pregnant. What you want with me? So I got up one day, and this is how it happened. I got up one day and I was like, there must be better. You know when they talk about that light bulb?
Yeah.
So that light bulb popped up. There must be better.
Wow.
And even in the must be better, I was tempted. The enemy came to my door. But I had a choice to make.
Yeah.
So am I going to choose the past that came to my door? Or am I going to choose my future that I don't know that's coming?
That's good.
The past was tempting. But I stood up because I woke up that morning and I was reminded that there must be better. So even in asking that there must be better, that means I had to be better. And that means there was another level, a version of me that was craving to come out, and I didn't know how to bring it out, but woke up that morning with that light bulb, there must be better, right? So when temptation came, I rejected it. It could be as simple as taking a gift from temptation. I rejected it because once you take it, you're opening another door, which you don't know what it's going to take you through. Right after temptation left, my future walked to the door.
Oh my goodness.
And it was as simple, less than 5-10 minutes later, it was as simple as, oh yeah, my mom sent this for you. Big old glasses, looking like a nerd. Waving a bow in his hair. Big old baggy pants, colorful shirt with some snakeskin shoes.
That's him.
Yeah. Come on.
But when he spoke to me, he was not interested in how I looked.
Come on.
What I can give to him. When I looked at the man, he gave me peace.
Oh my goodness.
That's it.
A peace that I did not even know that I needed. But I woke up that morning and was like, there must be better.
Come on.
That
There's
means
something else.
I deserve better. So am I going to go backwards or am I going to go forward, not knowing what's coming?
But we knew what was there.
But we knew what was there, right?
Yes.
So it was at that moment. And I would tell young ladies, the guy for you is usually the guy you least expect. And what ladies fail to understand, my husband went from nerd to a Kit Kat bar.
Come on.
He went from the character of Norbit to a chocolate Kit Kat bar.
Yes.
Okay.
And I say that very confidently. So, and it's like a disguise. The package for you, the person for you, God know what we need.
Yeah.
We think we know what we need. God is who knows what we need. And it goes back to being authentic, finding you.
Yep.
So once you're actually mentally ready, it's another level of, okay, let me accept this. We had our conversation. Let me accept this. They are not the problem. I was the problem.
That was it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Let me deal with
our mouth. And once you deal with you, once that healed version of you, you will attract who's for you.
I love that.
As long as you're not healed, that unhealed version of you is going to attract that
You attract what you
person. You attract what you are. So unhealed version is, well, I like this. I like that. And life and death is in the power of our tongue. So I like this and I like that. As long as you're unhealed, you're going to talk unhealed things. But once you become healed, you're going to start talking from freedom, deliverance. You're going to be so free that even your mindset will be shifted and changed into a healed version of yourself that you'll be like, oh my God, like I can see myself with him. When Mr. Destiny came to the door, I didn't say anything to him. I was nice, but when he left, I told my friend of 30 years, she passed away, God rest her soul. I looked at her, I said, I'm going to marry him.
Wow.
Didn't know what it looked like. Within that week, it manifested. I was invited to the mall. He followed me all around, not saying a word to me. I had so bad anxiety. It was so chronic that I couldn't go up an escalator. And he was not standing next to me. He was not pushing up on me. And I was not used to that because I was fine. Okay. So for him to just follow me everywhere and he just like he was guarding me.
Wow.
And he was paying attention so much. He was like, I'll take you up the elevator. I was like, okay. Took me up the elevator. He grabbed my hands. Honey, I grabbed that hand too. And then he didn't say no words to me, but are you okay? With his deep, fine, sexy voice. He was like, are you okay? I said, yes. And I left it. I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
That next week, I ended up being rescued from the family because I passed out. And the doctor said I didn't have long. And if someone didn't come get me out of that house, I would have died.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Man, that's when he said, would you marry me?
Wow.
And I said yes. But go ahead, Delanique. Like I said, I can run on about Mr. Forbes.
When you love something, baby, you'll keep going.
Listen.
I love that you talked about healing, and healing often deals with the soul. Oftentimes we kind of perceive it as like something that's like spiritual, and it is spiritual in essence, but the soul deals with your mind, your will, and the emotions. And oftentimes our heart has eyes, and our heart is connected to what we see, and what we see is connected to our reality, and our reality is connected to our future. And when you were saying the past and the future, oftentimes I feel like in seasons and in situations, the past and the future comes in the same season. And God is a God that gives us a free will. So he puts it and he says, here, you can choose this day who you're going to serve. So you're either going to serve your past
Come on.
or you're going to serve your future.
Yeah.
You're either going to feed your past or you're either going to feed your future.
Yes.
And as we're feeding our future, I've been married to my husband for almost 3 months. Does it feel like 3 months? Absolutely not. It feels as if we've been together for years, and we talk about this like, it feels like we've known each other. That goes beyond the time where we actually really met. And I actually met him back in 2018. And he has his own side of the story. And when he said that he saw me, and he recently told me this part, babe, if you're watching. He recently told me this part. He said, when I first saw you, he knew that I was different. And he knew that I would be someone that he would want to marry.
Wow.
And I'm like, when you first saw me though, like, come on, you just probably thought like, okay, this person looks cute. And this person, I might want to date this person. But he's like, no, there was just something that was unique and different about you. And I couldn't pinpoint it. And he was like, you were the girl that took me the longest time on how I should approach you. And what was his norm? Talk about seeing things from what you're used to. His norm was just like, okay, let me just go approach this girl. Yes. If she accepts me, whatever. If she doesn't accept me, whatever. I'm gonna just keep it rolling and keep it moving. But he was like, the longest time it took for me to approach you was so odd for him. It was so odd. Wow. And when he finally approached me, it didn't go as planned. He took me out to dinner. And I'm sitting across the table like, this guy has no idea, what he wants or what he's doing or where is he trying to go in life? I can't pinpoint it. I can't see it. I don't know. And so I was in this place of the fact that I was blinded by the fact that it came in a package I didn't yet perceive. So I neglected the package because it didn't look like what I thought, what I was expecting, if I knew what I was expecting. And so what do you do in life when you are expecting the unexpected? Right. Or what you really desire is something that you didn't expect. Yes. And so now I see it in hindsight that he was exactly what I needed and more. Yes. And as we continue to grow, he's exactly what I wanted and more. And now, and he's actually here, here with me in this time, and flew down. He's amazing. Every time we talk about this process, I always go back to vision. I think that in order for you to see that this person is for you, God will begin to change your eyesight and change your vision as to how you see you and how God wants to use you. Because I think marriage is purpose. Absolutely. I don't just think this is somebody I can have on my arm when we go to events, or this is somebody I can talk to when I feel down and disappointed. All of those things can go, but yes, with that entire process, I think that God begins to reveal and unveil an aspect of who you are in the process of marriage, that he begins to show you the entire time from the moment you all met up until now, its purpose. And so there may be people watching right now, and whatever spectrum you are at in life, whether you're dating or whether you are married, I want you to ask yourself, is this season of my life is where I want to be? And when you ask yourself that, if you don't feel like you're there yet, it's okay, hold on. Continue to go through the process, because it's in the process that the promise will come. And so that promise being the man of your dreams, it's okay. Wait till that moment, because it's in that moment that you'll truly realize that this man, this woman that showed up at my front door, my love door, is exactly what I've needed the entire time. So we thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Yes.
Everyone, my name is Janelle M. Forbes. Thank you for watching The Ugly Truth Show on Dominion TV. Don't forget, download the app, dominion.tv.